Hello, and welcome to the webinar. Are you ready to go on a very, very exciting journey? Today, you're going to learn how to become a magnet and attract quality new clients effortlessly. What we're going to work on today is how to shift from working harder to smarter. My name is Dr. Paul Inselman, and I am that handsome guy staring back at you on your screen. I am a business coach and entrepreneur, and I've been the recipient of the Outstanding Coaches Award in 2014, 2015, and 2016. Our contact information is up on the screen for you, our phone number, email address, and website. And I will be your host today to take you on this exciting journey. On some of the slides, there seems to be a long period of time at the end of that slide, and that is done on purpose so you'll have time to take copious notes during the presentation. It happens on about 4 or 5 of the slides throughout the presentation, but otherwise they should flow one into another. So on those couple of slides where there seems to be a long period of time, the program has not ended. It's just giving you time to catch up and take some notes. Okay, on with the show. So let me ask you, do you want more quality business? The key word here is quality. And we're going to take you, as I said, on this exciting journey to teach you strategies on how you can get more quality business. The areas that we are going to cover today are going to be some pretty interesting statistics. We're going to teach you how your thoughts create your reality and thus create your world. You know, 1% of the population has controlled 99% of all of the wealth of the world since the beginning of time. And the definition of wealth is health, wealth, beauty, opportunity, money. 1%ers are people like the Warren Buffetts of the world, the Mark Cubans of the world, the Bill Gates of the world. And you would have to admit that the 1%ers think differently than the 99%. You would have to admit that the 1%ers obviously take different action steps, and that's what makes them the 1%ers. An interesting little tidbit, if you were to redistribute that wealth, in other words, if you were to take the wealth out of the 1%ers' hands and redistribute it back to the 99% of the population, within 4 or 5 short years, it would reverse again. This is evidenced by lottery winners. Lottery winners win $10, $40, $100 million. And in 7 to 10 years, they are dead broke or, unfortunately, they are dead. Google what happens to lottery winners. Now, if Mark Cuban went bankrupt tomorrow, or if Bill Gates went bankrupt tomorrow, do you think that they would be back on top in very short order? You better believe it. And the reason being is because, again, 1%ers think differently, therefore they act differently, and therefore they create their world differently. So one of the key things that we're going to be talking about is how your thoughts create your reality. Then we're going to go over 5 key changes that you can implement tomorrow that are going to help you make the needed changes to positively affect your business. I'm going to give you action steps, and then we're going to talk about some questions and answers. Let me see a show of hands. Who's excited to rock on? So let's go over some statistics. According to Bloomberg, 8 out of 10 entrepreneurs who start a business will fail within the first 18 months. And a whopping 80% will actually just crash and burn. According to Biz Trends, the 4 top challenges that small business owners face today are cash flow, new business, management of people, and time management. When was the last time that you took a vacation? Are you having difficulty in getting quality new business to you? What about the management of your team? And how is your cash flow? When we poll our new clients, typically they will fall into 1, 2, or all 4 of these categories. According to an interesting study by Enterprise done in 2013, leaders recognize that a significant lack of accountability on the part of employees is a major problem. They stated that 21% stated that it was unacceptable, the level of lack of accountability in 30 to 50% of their workforce. There is a reason why Fortune 500 companies are Fortune 500 companies. Again, they're the elite. They're the top 1%. They think differently, they act differently, and they get different results. A recent study of executive coaching in a Fortune 500 firm by Metrics Global reported a 529% return on their investment, as well as significant intangible benefits to their business. Think about the kinds of returns that you get on your investments. Are you getting a 529% return? In business, you have to always think about having an edge over your competition. A Hay Group study found that Fortune 500 companies found that 21 to 40% utilize executive coaching, and that coaching was used as standard leadership development for elite executives and talented up-and-comers. How are you going to create an edge over your competition? When companies invest in coaching, there are two benefits. There is a benefit to the business, and there is a benefit to the individuals that are being coached. A 2001 study by Manchester Incorporated reporting improvement in these following areas. The benefits to the business: productivity went up, quality of product and service went up, organizational strength went up, and bottom line profitability improved tremendously. When we talk about benefits to the executive who received coaching, their working relationships improved with their superiors, their working relationships improved with their laterals, and their relationship building worked with the entire team. So coaching has benefits to both the business itself and the executives who are being coached. Continued benefits to the people that were being coached were a higher level of job satisfaction, conflict reductions. They had much better organizational skills. Their working relationships with their clients improved dramatically, as well as customer service. There were fewer customer complaints, and for the business, they ended up retaining those executives who received coaching in a much greater level, and also there were tremendous cost reductions. Whenever you make an investment in anything, you need to make sure that you're getting a return on your investment. In other words, don't think of things as expensive. In other words, oh wow, that's $1 million. That's expensive. Well, if $1 million got you $5 million, would it be worth the time? Would it be worth the effort? And would it be worth the investment? Of course. So you always need to look at things in terms of return on investment. A recent global study by PricewaterhouseCoopers found that the mean return on investing in coaching was 7 times the initial investment, and over a quarter of clients reported return on investments of 10 to 49 times. Now, we're very excited. At Creative Coaching, our clients have seen an average return of 165% since 2008. As this webinar is being created in October of 2017, our clients are up 49% through September 30th of 2017, and last year our clients got a return of 44% year to date for the entire year in 2016. How would you feel right now if you had an increase in your income of 44% last year? And on top of that 44%, if your income rose 49% this year? So let's get to it. If you learn nothing from me from this entire webinar, please learn this screen. This is how the 1%ers become the 1%ers. You see, your thoughts matter. Every single thought that you have matters, and it matters big time. Let me show you how this works. You see, you are a magnet, and you are either vibrating positively and attracting people and things into your life, or you are vibrating negatively and you are repelling people and things out of your life. There's no in between. You see, you're either pregnant or you're not. You're not half pregnant. So you are either vibrating positively or you are vibrating negatively. Period. End of story. Let me show you how your thoughts help you to create your world. In this life, there are only events, and it doesn't matter what happens to you. It is how you take it. Let me give you an example. So here's an event. My girlfriend breaks up with me. And now I start to have thoughts of, oh my God, I'm worthless. I'm never going to meet anybody. I'm going to die alone. I'm so unhappy. How could she do this to me? And this causes feelings that cause me to vibrate in a negative vibration. Now I create my action steps. And because I'm so down in the dumps, I decide to get into bed, stick my thumb in my mouth, and pull the covers over my head in the fetal position. And now I'm going to create my world. If I stay in this position long enough, I'll give myself depression. And if I stay in this position long enough and I start to miss days and days of work, what's going to happen is I'm going to get a telephone call from my boss and he's going to fire me. And that's what happens in this example. I lose my job. So now I call you up and I say, hey Jim, I can't believe this. My world is just crashing down. My girlfriend broke up with me. I feel so terrible. I'm sick to my stomach. I've been in bed. I don't feel well. I feel depressed. And then you know what happens? That SOB boss of mine, he fired me. So whose fault is it? Is it the boss? Let's take a look at the same event. Your girlfriend breaks up with you, the same event. But now you have different thoughts. And those thoughts are, you know what? Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. This is great. Plenty of fish in the sea. If she doesn't value me, that's fine with me. I will find somebody better. And now you have feelings that are causing you to vibrate at a positive vibration. And now you're going to take different action steps. And those action steps may be, I call you and I say, hey Jim, can you do me a favor? My girlfriend broke up with me. Do you know anybody who you could set me up with? Or maybe I'll go on to an online dating site and now I create my world differently. I happen to meet the love of my life and my world is just awesome. 3 weeks later, I call you up and I tell you, hey Jim, oh man, what a month it's been. It's been amazing. So let me tell you what happened. My girlfriend broke up with me. And I have to tell you, it was the best thing in the world. I went onto this online dating site. I met the most beautiful, the greatest woman in the world. And we are just having such a great time. So do you see why your thoughts matter? Because it doesn't matter. Every day, events are going to happen. Stuff's going to happen. It's not what happens to you. It's how you take it. And if you know and understand how to use this algorithm I just wrote out for you, your business will be infinitely better. Your life will be infinitely better. Your happiness factor will be infinitely better. So let's get into how to create some effective change. The first thing is change your thoughts, change your business, change your life, change your outcome. And the first action step is affirmations. You see, you and I, we play loops in our head. And depending what that loop is playing or how that loop is playing really governs how you see the world. Let me give you an example. If you have a loop that's playing in your head of, oh man, I can't believe how slow things are. The phone doesn't ring. Oh my goodness, I lost that client. Payroll's due. The rent is due. I have no money. That is a negative loop. And if you go back to you're vibrating either positively or negatively, if you've got that loop playing in your head over and over and over again, you are vibrating negatively. And what's interesting is there's something that's called a dominant thought. A dominant thought is exactly that. It's a thought that you're thinking of, and your brain, everything will move you in that direction. So you accomplish that which is your dominant thought. So if your dominant thought is, I have no money and I have payroll due and all that, that's what you're going to move towards. If your dominant thought is, I can do anything, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I am a magnet for new clients, I'm a magnet for money, then guess what? You're going to move in that direction. Let me give you an example of a dominant or a sponsoring thought. I want you to close your eyes. Come on, everybody, close your eyes. And I want you to think of the color blue. Blue, blue, blue. I love the color blue. Blue is the color of the sky, and blue is the color of the ocean. It's a calming color. I am thinking of the color blue. Blue, blue, blue. I love blue. Open your eyes and find me something blue. Now you probably found that it took you about a half of a millisecond to find something blue. That's your sponsoring or dominant thought. Close your eyes again. I want you to think of the color black. I love the color black. Black is peaceful. Black is the color of night. Black, black, black. I'm thinking of the color black. I love the color black. Black, black, black. Open your eyes and find me something orange. As you can see, it probably has taken you quite a bit longer to find something orange. Now, when I did this with a client of mine, he said to me that, there's no orange here at all. And I said, really? Keep looking. And about, a couple of seconds later, he said, oh my goodness, there is an orange, an actual orange on the windowsill. My point to you with this exercise is that your dominant or sponsoring thought, your brain is always going to take your actions to that, and you will always achieve your dominant or sponsoring thought. So going back to affirmations, if you're playing a negative loop in your head that's spinning, 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 I can't do this, I can't do that, you're going to be drawn to that. So the first action step in order to create positive change and to change your thought process are affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that we say out loud and out proud. I'm a great father. I'm a great husband. I'm a great businessman. I am an amazing coach. I am a magnet for great things. Those are affirmations. When you say it in the I am format, what happens is when you throw that out into the universe has to answer you back. And it's as though it's already happened. And the universe will pull you in that direction. So I am is very powerful. I recommend that you do affirmations a minimum of twice a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, and any time you have negative self-talk. That is paramount. If you have a negative self-talk going on in your head, change it with an affirmation. Now, affirmations are cumulative. And by the way, the 4 things on the screen, affirmations, journal writing, meditation, and visualization, these are called habits of excellence. And a habit is exactly that. You do something over and over and over again for 30 to 45 days, and then guess what? You don't have to think about it anymore. It happens automatically. So if you are continuously and consistently doing affirmations anytime you have a negative self-talk, what happens is you're going to program your brain literally to start to see things more positively. So affirmations, very, very powerful. Number 2, journal writing. I recommend you go to Staples or Office Max or any office store and go ahead and pick up a hard-covered, bound journal, just a plain journal. And I recommend using 1 journal per year. So I have like 27 years worth. And there are different ways of journal writing. I'm just going to go over one aspect today. There are 3 others that we do with our clients, but time won't allow. But this is the main thing. You want to put pen to paper every morning and just write stream of consciousness for 3 pages. It does not matter what you write. You just want to write. So let me give you an example. I'm writing the sky is blue. I don't even know why I wrote that. Well, I wrote it because it's calming. Well, tell me about calming. Well, I'm a little bit stressed out. Really? What are you stressed out about? I don't know, just life in general, I guess. Okay, is there anything that you could do to relieve that stress? Yeah, I can meditate more. Okay, why aren't you meditating? I'm not giving it the time. Okay, well, do you think it's important to reduce the stress? Yeah, it will help. All right, I'll schedule more time. So by writing in this fashion, you will get the best therapy that you never pay for. Because typically we know the answers deep down, and this journal writing process will allow it to bubble up to the surface. It also will increase creativity. I cannot tell you how many really, really creative marketing ideas I've gotten just from journal writing. Meditation. If you don't meditate, I'm going to highly recommend that you start. Now, meditation is it's a learned skill, and it takes some time. And admittedly, I was not very good at it in the beginning. There are apps that you could check out or go onto the internet and check out different programs. But there are programs that will lead you through what are called guided meditations, and they'll actually teach you. The optimum for meditation is to do it twice a day for 20 minutes. And you're going to tell me, are you kidding, Paul? I don't have 20 minutes, even to go to the bathroom. How am I going to fit this in? Well, you eat, you sleep, you exercise. These are things that you do to take care of your body. What do you actually do to take care of your mind? You see, your mind is where everything starts from. Meditation calms you. It lowers blood pressure. It lowers glucose levels. It helps creativity. It helps you sleep better. I cannot go on and extol the benefits, or as many benefits, with meditation. For me personally, it has been a life and a game changer. Visualization. What you see is what you're going to get. And this is where the 1%ers really understand this. Think of Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods gets on the tee box. He doesn't just get up there and grip it and rip it. He looks and he visualizes where the ball is going to go. He waggles, he sets up, he takes a practice swing, he steps away, he looks at where the ball is going to go, and then boom, that's where the ball goes. Professional basketball players, they get on the free throw line. What do? They look at the basket, bounce, bounce, cross themselves, look at the basket. They're visualizing that ball going swoosh, and then it does. So visualization is very, very powerful. Again, time won't allow us to go through the actual mechanics of it, but there are great things on the internet that you can pick up and read and learn how to do that. This is something that we spend a fairly good amount of time with our clients, teaching them about these habits of excellence. Remember, changing your thoughts and changing your actions are going to change your results. Period. End of story. And remember, only 1% of the population understands and utilizes these technologies. 1%. Change number 2 is that you need to use strategic-based marketing instead of tactical-based marketing. What is tactical-based marketing? In short, tactical-based marketing is throwing enough crap up against the wall and hoping that something will stick. Do a patient appreciation dinner, do a trade show, do an email newsletter, do a radio show, do a radio ad. That's tactical-based marketing. A strategist will slaughter a tactician every single time. You see, a strategist uses just that, strategy. A strategist uses algebraic equations like the one that's on the screen. It's called the heuristic marketing equation. And when you solve for those variables, you will get much better conversion. A strategist understands the buying funnel, which has been around since the late 1800s. It's how everybody buys all goods, all services. It does not matter if you are buying a new pair of shoes, a new car, chiropractic care, a new widget, a new TV, or a new insurance policy. Everybody is going to go through the buying funnel. The difference is, as a strategist in marketing, when you know and understand the buying funnel, it enables you to market in any economy, good or bad. Let's take a look at the variables for this equation. So in the equation, C equals conversion. M equals motivation. And this is where we spend an inordinate amount of time to develop an ideal client. And you must know the why behind the why that they're looking to buy your good or service. An ideal client is real simple. These are your best buyers. And knowing the why means this. Let's say somebody's looking for a new car. And the reason why they're looking for a new car is because their previous car died and they need one today, right now. If you as the salesperson starts to educate and sell them on the fact that this new car that they're looking at has all these bells and whistles and all these fancy telemetrics and blah, 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 they don't care and you won't get the sale. The reason they don't care is because they're not there for telemetrics. They are there for basic transportation to get them from point A to point B quickly because their car is in the middle of Main Street being towed away. Very important to know the why behind the why. V stands for unique value proposition. It's synonymous with USP, unique selling proposition. And in short, a UVP is what separates you from every other person in your field or your profession. What makes you so special? Why should somebody give you their hard-earned money? An incentive, everybody likes an incentive, but you have to do it professionally and tastefully. Friction, the way you combat that is you have to know the answers to every single objection, and you can also use what's called wow data, which is using neutral third-party data to make your case. And anxiety, you need to relieve people's anxiety, and the way we do that is by knowing every single question that they can come up with, both real and hallucinogenic, and being able to answer them logically, consistently, and also testimonials help also. So to review the heuristic marketing equation again, C equals 4M plus 3V plus 2I minus F minus 2A, where C equals conversion, M equals motivation, V equals value proposition, I equals incentive, F equals friction, and A equals anxiety. So in order to get better conversions, you better give 4 times the motivation and then add that to 3 times the value proposition and add that to twice the incentive, and then you have to subtract out the friction and you have to subtract out 2 times the anxiety, and that's going to lead you to better conversions. Hey, let me see a show of hands. How many people are enjoying this presentation so far? Excellent. I appreciate that. Are you learning new things? Great. That's what we found. That's what we have found. Our clients, I believe, excel because we teach different type of information, things that they really haven't heard of before. And then we have such a great pool of clients that really are able to implement beautifully. And I believe that's why we get such great results with our clients. But I am thrilled that you're learning some really good and useful information. So let's get back to it. Strategic-based marketing. So who is your ideal client, your ideal customer, or your ideal patient? The reason why you want to know that is because it will enable you to get the best clients, the best customers, and the best patients. It will also enable you to get to the decision makers, and that's really important. If you're not talking with the decision maker, then you've got a problem. It will also give you the best opportunities and allow you to establish a really, really great network. Here are a few questions for you to ponder. So what happens to your business when you learn how to change your thoughts? What happens to your business when you learn how to strategically market? And what are you losing by not implementing these strategies? The next action step to create effective change is learning how to create an ideal client. Like I said before, an ideal client is going to give you the best return on your investment because they are your ideal. And I want you to think of it like dating. If you were dating, or if you're presently dating, then you probably have a certain person in your mind's eye. That person probably has a certain hair color, a certain eye color, a certain body type. They probably have a certain personality that you're looking for. They probably have a certain socioeconomic background. And there are probably some deal breakers in there, like, if they're a smoker, maybe that's just totally out. Or if they're a drug user, that's just totally out. My point is that you have certain criteria for that person that you'd be willing to date and or marry. When you're creating an ideal client, what you want to do is you want to think of it in the same way. So take a blank piece of paper out and you write down 5 of your best clients, 5 of your best patients, 5 of your best customers. And write down in detail their characteristics, what makes them so good. Are they male? Are they female? Do they live in a certain zip code? What is their socioeconomics? What type of orders do they place? Are they friendly and courteous to your staff? And then go ahead and write down your 5 worst clients, patients, or customers, and compare and contrast the two. Let me give you an example. If a chiropractor was looking to attract a 45 to 70-year-old female earning 100,000 plus that is suffering from chronic fibromyalgia and thyroid problems and was the chief educator for her family, the chief patient advocate, where would that person market to? Would they market to a higher echelon zip code or a lower echelon? Well, if they're earning north of 100,000, obviously higher. If they're looking for people with fibromyalgia and females to boot, would they go to a men's club? Of course not. So creating an ideal client or an ideal patient will allow you to know specifically where that person lives, works, and plays, which will give you a greater percentage chance of getting that person to come to you. The next action step to take to grow your business and your life is to diagnose where your problem is. You see, your problem is going to be in 1, 2, or 3 areas. 1, it could be a mindset problem. 2, it could be a mechanical issue. 3, it could be both a mindset and a mechanical issue. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you want to do a trade show, but you're afraid to talk to people, and you don't have the confidence to go out there and shake hands and to do that trade show. Well, that's a problem with your mindset. In order for you to be able to do an effective trade show in this example, you would need to work on building up that confidence muscle. On the other hand, if you want to do a trade show, but you don't know how to do it, you don't know what collateral material to put out, you're not sure of specifically what to do, that's a mechanical problem. And therefore, you need to learn those steps mechanically that will enable you to do that trade show. Mindset is so important, and it is so overlooked. If you're a golfer and you get up to the tee box and there's a water hole to the right, and you say to yourself, oh, I can't hit in the water, I have to avoid the water, I promise you, you're going to end up in the water. Even if you point all the way to the left, you're going to slice that ball so far that you'll end up in the water. Mindset is important. We talked about dominant thought. So the first thing that you need to do in order to change your mindset is to make sure that you are vibrating at a positive level. Next, use the tools that we talked about earlier. Use your affirmations, use your journal writing, your meditation, and your visualizations. And you can also use a counterbalancing technique. Counterbalancing is a really great technique where it takes a negative thought, turns it into a positive, and creates an affirmation out of it. So for example, let's say that you don't have confidence to do that trade show. Well, to counterbalance, you would write down what the problem is. I have lack of confidence in doing a trade show, or I am afraid to do a trade show. To counterbalance that, you would turn it into a positive. I am working towards developing confidence to do a trade show. I am working towards developing the abilities, the skills to do that trade show. And that becomes an affirmation. I am a trade show monster. I am able to do a trade show. I have confidence to do a trade show. Counterbalancing is a very positive technique, and you can get more information by Googling it on the internet. Gratitude. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is one thing that all of us are probably guilty of that we take for granted. Let me give you an example. You woke up this morning and you had perfect vision, and you're hearing this webinar right now. You were probably able to walk to the bathroom all by yourself. Well, there are many people that were not as fortunate this morning. And one of the things that I do every single night before I go to bed is I do a gratitude exercise. While I'm preparing to go to bed, I stand in front of the mirror and I yell out loud, all of the things that I have gratitude for. You know, nobody went for chemotherapy today. It's an awesome day. I have a great family. I have gratitude for that. I have gratitude for my health. I have gratitude for all the things in my life. You see, gratitude gives you altitude. And that's the one thing that if you look at any one of the one percenters in their interviews, take a look at a Mark Cuban, take a look at a Damon John, take a look at a Bill Gates, take a look at a Michael Jordan. One of the things that all of these one percenters are always going to talk about is that they have gratitude. So start doing gratitude exercises. Remember, your problem is going to be in 1, 2, or 3 areas. It's either going to be a mindset issue, it's going to be a mechanical issue, or it's going to be both. And if your self-introspection and diagnostic abilities brought you to the fact that it's a mechanical problem, the first thing that you want to do is you want to evaluate what procedures are not working. So for example, let's say that you have a substandard staff and you're not happy with the staff performance. Well, the first thing that you would want to figure out is it a mechanical problem? Well, yeah, you know what? We have lack of training. Perfect. So now what you want to do is evaluate what procedures are not working. Well, we have no training program whatsoever. Now what you want to do is you want to determine if you need to tweak that procedure or recreate the procedure. So if you have no training procedures, then you're going to need to create training procedures in order to have that A team. Now, when you're doing these things, it is imperative that you use good organizational skills to schedule or to repair the procedure or procedures that are at fault. Remember, one of the key things that small business owners lack is organization. And if you're not getting a full 60 minutes out of every hour, you are wasting time. Time won't allow us to go into the mechanics of organization here, but I would recommend that you either Google the topic or get some books on good organizational skills. It is imperative, if you're going to run a good business, that you have great organization. So let me see another show of hands. How many people have enjoyed this webinar to this point? Awesome, and thank you very much. I'm really glad that you're here, and I'm really hoping that you're pulling some useful information. Some more questions for you to ponder. Okay, so why haven't you been able to fix your problems by yourself? And are these problems that are holding you back, are they a mindset issue? Are they a mechanical issue? Or are they both? By continuing to fix these problems by yourself, what are you losing? And who can help you solve these problems? The last changes that you're going to need to make in order to run an effective business are to create effective active and passive strategic-based campaigns. Now, the key to effective sales is to never sell your prospect. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but think about your own buying habits. When you're going into a showroom to buy a new car, do you like to be pounced upon by the salesman who then tries to sell you this car? He tells you how great it is and how great you're going to look in it and how you have to have this car. Of course you don't appreciate that. What about when you're going to look for a new TV? Do you like being pounced upon by that salesman with them trying to sell you that TV? You see, what we teach our clients is to never ever sell your good, your service. All you need to do is to educate people. If you determine the real need for that person wanting your product or service, and you simply educate them and allow them to make up their own mind, the likelihood that they're going to buy your good and service is really, really amplified. It's amplified for several reasons. Number one, they want your good or your service. They came to you. You didn't go to them. Number two, you have understood their particular need for your good or your service, and you simply educated them as to how your good or your service is going to fix their problem. And then the logical outcome is, I'd like to buy that. So don't ever sell your prospect. Instead, simply educate them. Now, there are different ways of educating people. One is to create active campaigns. Active campaigns are things like trade shows and networking and cold calling. And they're all really, really good techniques. They do work well. The problem with them is they all require hard work. And especially if you're cold calling, you better develop a very thick skin, because people are going to hang up on you and people are going to call you all sorts of nasty names. And when that happens, you are going to need to be able to self-motivate yourself to pick up that phone again. And all of these active campaigns create a need to sustain that momentum. In other words, if you're doing a trade show on a Saturday and a Sunday, well, now you have to do something else during the week or next week in order to sustain that momentum. There are also passive campaigns that educate. And again, the key here is to educate. And my recommendation is to have a combination of two. You should have active campaigns and passive. Now, personally, I like more passive oriented for the simple reason that once you do the work, it already does itself down the road. In other words, it takes work to create an email newsletter campaign, but once you write the newsletters, you can keep disseminating them forever. Blogs, social media, and here's a word on social media. Love it or hate it, social media, folks, is here to stay. And there's a difference between doing social media, which the majority of people who are marketing and advertising on Facebook and the such, they're doing Facebook, but are they making money from it? And there is a big, big difference. We have an entire team that is dedicated to just social media. And our clients just don't do Facebook. Our clients make money from Facebook. AdWords, another important type of passive marketing. AdWords is where you buy keywords and people click on that, and when they click, you pay for that. However, if you're creating the right keywords with the right ads, AdWords is a very, very good way of marketing. Webinars, websites, these are all examples of passive marketing campaigns. And again, I want to highlight, educate people, do not sell them. So again, the common areas where business owners get stuck are the acquisition of new business. That is the number one thing that small business owners need the most help with, and rightfully so. You see, new business is the lifeblood to any business, and therefore you must have effective campaigns that are going to consistently bring the best buyers to your market, to your place of business. Organization is the next thing that business owners get stuck with. And like I said before, if you're not getting a full 60 minutes out of every hour, you're wasting time. Delegation. There is a difference between running a business and running a hobby. And one of the things that we really spend a lot of time with our clients is the creation of systems. You see, when you have systems in your business, when you run your business by systems, what happens is it makes a whole lot more free time for you to enjoy with your family. It also makes a much smoother operation. So one of the things with systems is you have to have a system of delegation. Because if you as a small business owner are doing everything and not delegating, you are really taking away from your business. So delegation is important. And if you're going to delegate, then you are going to need to hire and train the best staff that you possibly can. And this is another place where business owners typically get stuck. They hire wrong, they do not do proper training, and they don't fire quickly enough. The phrase that we use with our clients is be slow to hire and quick to fire. But in order to hire properly, you need to know exactly who that person is, and most importantly, how to give them proper expectation, and then train, and train. The next place where business owners get stuck are, hey, when was the last time that you took a vacation? But when I say when did you take a vacation, when was the last time that you practiced PTC, present time consciousness? In other words, if you went to Disney with your family, but you spent the entire time on your cell phone dealing with clients, customers, and staff, then you weren't really on vacation. So it is very, very important that to create a systems-oriented business or practice in order to be able to spend more quality time with your family. We talked about it before, and this is another place, and that's accountability. The majority of staff people are not being held accountable, and the reason for that is they're not being trained properly. And lastly, no goals. If you don't have goals, it's very difficult to hit where you want to be. One of the things that we do with all of our clients uniformly across the board from September through December is we do a goal setting process. At the end of that process, the client is left with a 365-day marketing calendar. And that is the best time in our calendar to help our clients, because when you help your clients review last year's goals and you see check, 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 hit it, and then you help them create the upcoming goals, it is a very, very exciting time. So for 14 years, we at Creative Coaching have been helping small business owners just like you. But how can we help you? Well, the first is we're going to teach you how to get organized. Next, we're going to teach you how to get a systems-driven business, a systems-driven practice, a systems-driven everything. Because when you have systems, you're going to have a much more smoothly running operation. So we can help you by teaching you how to get the best buyers to your market, to your office, to your clinic. And the way we do that is we will teach you how to create strategic marketing campaigns. That's going to lead to teaching you how to earn more money. And what we really specialize in is financial intelligence. You see, we help to create millionaires, and we are very proud of that. And the way we do that is we have an entire team, an entire financial dedicated team that helps our clients build and create their net worth. We have CPAs on staff. We have trust attorneys to protect your assets. We have investment advisors. We have financial planners. We have insurance agents that are going to protect your assets. Everything and anything that you need to improve your financial intelligence and or to improve your financial health, we have. Next, and this is really important, we can help you by holding you accountable. Think about this for a second. What would have happened if you had executed just 10% or 30% of all of the great ideas that you had last year? Can you imagine if you executed just a third of those great ideas? Wouldn't your business or your practice be different than it is today? We can also help you again by creating cutting-edge systems and giving you cutting-edge advice. And we will help you create a very, very dynamic team. We'll also teach you how to set meaningful goals. You see, the definition of a goal is a dream or a wish with a timeline around it and appropriate action steps. Most people mistake what goals are. In other words, somebody may say, yeah, I have a goal. I'm going to lose 30 pounds this year. No, that's not a goal. That's a dream. It becomes a goal when you say, I'm going to lose 30 pounds by, June 15th. And I'm going to do it by joining Weight Watchers, getting a personal trainer, and exercising 4 days a week. That's a goal. And we will teach you how to create meaningful goals in all the areas of your life. The areas of your life being how to get better health, how to have better personal relationships, how to make more money, what to do with that money that you're making, how to have more spirituality, and how to have a better, more fulfilled life. We will teach you how to take more vacations. And by the way, every one of our clients, they go away at least every 3 months. We'll teach you how to run a systems-driven business and much, much, much more. Let me see a show of hands. How many people are excited that they are finally going to have the opportunity to get their business under control, where they are running their business instead of their business running them? Come on, let me see a show of hands. Awesome. All right, so why use us? There's so many coaches out there. Why even think about using creative coaching? Well, the first thing is, do you want a powerful edge over your competition? Remember, we're talking about the 1%ers of the population, the 1%ers. If you go back to the slides before in the statistics, Fortune 500 companies, 30 to 40% of them utilize business coaches. What is your competition doing that you're not? And by coaching and having somebody hold you accountable and creating strategic campaigns and helping you to manage your personnel, it's going to give you a very powerful edge. Why use us? Because we have over 32 plus years of business experience of working with people just like you. We know how to get effective change. We know how to help you change your mindset. We know how to help you to change your mechanics. We have cutting edge strategies. We have no long-term contracts. And let me tell you about contracts. This is important. If you're going to work with a coaching company, do not sign a long-term contract. Let me repeat that. Do not sign a long-term contract. That is a very hurtful thing for you. It is a great thing for a coaching company. Do not sign a long-term contract. Most companies will have you sign a 12, 24, or 36-month contract. And you are locked in, baby. So do not do it. In our world, we don't have long-term contracts, and I'm happy to say that our clients stay with us on average 51 months without the use of contracts. And the reason why our clients stay with us for so long is because we get results. Our clients are up 165% since 2008. They're up 49% year to date as of this recording in October of 2017. We give 100% money back guarantee, and we are results oriented. That's why our clients stay with us. If you contrast that to the national averages is most people will stay with a coach for 13 months. What that means is they sign a 12-month contract and they are gone on the 13th month. Now, I want to thank you for coming and taking your time and watching this webinar and checking us out. And to reward you, I would like to offer you a free and no obligation one-on-one business analysis and strategy session. Let me explain how this works. First of all, you will be sold nothing, ever, ever, ever. We don't sell people, as I told you before. We will simply educate you, and the way we do that is like this. At the bottom of this screen, it says to book your appointment, go to HTTPS and that link address. Write that link address down and put it into your web browser. That will put you directly into my appointment book. When you set an appointment for a phone consultation with me, you will then receive a business profile that you will fill out online. It will come from a company called Sign Now. If you do not get it in your inbox, please check your junk mail. It may end up there. The beauty about this business profile is it is going to show you introspectively where your weaker areas are. You'll be able to self-diagnose if it is a mindset problem, a mechanical problem, or both. For me, I use it as a diagnostic test that I'm able to pinpoint exactly where your problems are. Then what we're going to do is we are going to go over basically line by line of that profile, and I will create for you a comprehensive plan, free of charge and no obligation, to fix the problems. At the end of our strategy session, you will have a choice. You can either say, hey, thank you, Paul, so much, and take that free plan and go implement it on your own, or if you want to hear how we can help you, you'll tell me, and I'll be more than happy to go over specifically how we can help you. And the reason why I say specifically is there are no two clients that are coached the same. And that's another thing that you have to be careful if you're looking at different coaching companies. You want to make sure that whoever you're working with creates a custom created plan specifically for you. That it's not a cookie cutter program that you're just kind of fit into. And the reason why that's important is because everybody has a different personality, and it's important that everything is done with your flavor, with your personality on it. So every one of our clients get a custom created plan. So going back, we'll go over with you, if you want to hear at the end of that call, specifically how we can help you. We'll go over the fees. We'll go over everything with you. And a word about fees. There hasn't been one client that I can think of who really, really wanted coaching who was not able to afford it. And the reason why is because we have so many different payment options that it will be virtually impossible that if you truly want coaching, that you will not be able to afford it. And this is another thing that, quite honestly, we're pretty proud of, that we're able to serve the community and serve them well. So to book the appointment, go to the website at the bottom, https, my.timetrade, etc., and book the appointment. Look in your email box for a business profile. You'll fill that out right online, get it back to me, and then we will sit and we will rock your world, because you will know specifically what's wrong with your business, what you need to do, and you will have a plan on how to do it. Let's go over some frequently asked questions. The most common is, why should I spend money on coaching? And that is a great question. My answer is really simple. You should never spend money on coaching. Never, ever, ever. You should invest money in yourself, and you should invest money in coaching, provided you meet certain parameters. Number one, if you're happy with the way your business is, and if you're happy with the way your life is, then quite honestly, you don't need coaching. But if you want to grow better, faster, with less expense and less hassle, then you should absolutely look into the prospect of investing in coaching. And the reason why I highlight that word investing is investment gives you a return. In other words, if you spent $5,000 and got $100 back, wouldn't you do that every day of the week? That's what an investment is. Our clients have a return of 165% since 2008. Our clients are up 49% year to date. How much did you earn in your bank account? Less than 1%. How much did you earn in the stock market? Well, in a really great year in the stock market, maybe you can earn 30 or 40%. But most years, and historically, the stock market has yielded 9%. So a 49% on an investment is not bad. Number two, what should you expect? Well, you should always expect professionalism with whomever you're working with. If you're working with me, you should expect that I'm going to be on time every time. You can expect that you can reach me virtually 24/7. And I do mean 24/7. Let me give you an example. Where were you last New Year's Eve? I'm going to bet that you were with your sweetie watching the ball drop. And I was with my honey too, but I was on the phone with a client. The entire New Year's Eve day and night. What happened was client A was buying out client B. Client A was my client. Client B was his partner. And it was a big, big deal. And the deal went off the tracks, off the rails, about 11 o'clock in the morning on the morning of New Year's Eve. My client called me. We did a three-way conversation, and we basically talked all through the ball dropping. And we got the train back on the tracks, and they closed on their deal on January 5th. So what you should expect is somebody that has knowledge, somebody that has skill sets, somebody who's going to be able to motivate you, somebody who's going to be able to help you, somebody that has a big shoulder and understands, somebody that's going to hold you accountable, and most importantly, what you should expect is somebody that's going to deliver results, spectacular results. What are the costs? The costs really vary, and it's individual depending on what the client wants, how much time they need, and how many people are going to be involved. So, for example, if I'm going to train a dentist's office or a doctor's office, and I'm just going to train the doctor or the dentist, that's going to be less money than if I train the doctor and his entire staff. So all costs are discussed with you on an individual basis based on what your needs are and what your budget is. That's the other thing that we do with all of our clients. We try and create a plan that's within your budget. What have others said? Well, this client had a really, really interesting story. He became a millionaire, and he was awesome. What happened was he was running a hobby instead of a business. And when I told him that, he got pretty offended. But the reality was he had no systems. The reality was his team was running amok. It was crazy. It was really, really crazy how disorganized everything was. And what I did with him was I worked and I taught him how to work smarter instead of harder by, number one, creating an organization. What we did was we created an organizational chart and we created delegation. What that enabled him to do was to spend more free time with his family and actually take vacations. He hadn't had a vacation in like 10 years. Then, with our financial team, we taught him how to be more tax efficient, and basically, he had done really, really well. And after working with us for about, 7 or 8 months, he crossed that millionaire threshold, something that we are really excited about and real happy to be a part of. This client has a pretty interesting story. He had become ill because of just really overworking. And he had great ideas. He's what we call ready, aim, but never fire. And what we taught him to do was how to aim, and then fire, but to do it so you're going to get results. So the main thing that we did, because he was really a great ideas generator, we held him accountable and kept him out of his own way. And that's one of the major things that a lot of business owners suffer with, that they get in their own way, and that's what stops their success. And the way we did that was we held him accountable to doing the things that he said that he was going to do. We created systems and we created organization, and it really rocked his world. Oh, this client was awesome. This client has a number of businesses, and he really says it best. There are so many things that we never even knew or explored until our minds were opened by creative coaching. You see, when you utilize a coach, you have an unbiased, and that's very important, an unbiased, unattached emotional situation where I look at things differently than you do. You see, when it's your business, you look at things from an emotional perspective, myself included. That's why I have 4 different coaches myself to utilize in different areas in my life. But this particular client that we're talking about on the screen, he had a lot of fragmented areas that we helped tie all the loose ends together by, again, helping with organization, by, again, creating systems, and by using strategic marketing campaigns. And he has done really, really well, sold numerous businesses, working on another. We've been coaching him for about, 7 or 8 years, and it's been a pleasure. Well, I hope you enjoyed the webinar as much as I've enjoyed putting it on for you. And I do want to thank you literally from the bottom of my heart, because you know what? Your time is valuable. And for you to take time out of your busy day to sit and watch this webinar, I'm quite honored, and I really do hope that you've learned a lot from it. Now, if you leave this webinar saying, wow, that was great, and you do nothing with the information, I have to tell you, folks, it was a total waste of your time. But if you leave this webinar and say, hey, I'm going to implement this, this, and this, then that's great, and that would be a great use of your time. I would recommend that you set up your appointment, and let's do a strategy session so I can help guide you, and I'll create a plan for you so you can see where the holes are and how you can get a system of growth. If you choose to do that, go ahead and put that URL into your browser. You'll set up the appointment. You'll get that business profile from Sign Now, and you and I will sit on the phone, and we will rock and roll your world by showing you exactly what you need to do. If you need to reach me at any time, you can always call the number at the bottom of the screen, which is 888-201-0567. The website is creativecoachingllc.net, creativecoachingllc.net. And again, my name is Dr. Paul Enselman, and it has been an absolute joy and pleasure being your host today. Thank you so much for coming. I look forward to talking with you on the phone and learning more about you and your super business. Last thing, the legal stuff. Bottom line, please don't copy or distribute or create anything in whole or in part. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort to put a program like this together. It is copyrighted, and I would ask respectfully that you do adhere to those legal ramifications of not copying. If you want to use this presentation, just email me or call me. I have to give you written permission to do so, and usually that's granted depending on what you're using it for. But please, creative stuff, don't pirate it. It's never a good thing. Again, thanks so much for coming. It was my absolute pleasure. Have a great day.